part of what you have to do when you're educating, Dan mentioned it earlier, and it has become one of my, I don't know, reasons for living, I don't know, because you get this information out to people, and you go to a seminar three years later, and they have not done anything. They have not implemented, okay? They have not, like, got off their butt and done something. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how and why that works. Look, everybody tells me, Mike, don't worry about it. It's the numbers game, the 80-20 rule, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure if some of that's true and that 80% of people aren't going to do anything, that I should be speaking to the 20, which I think are in this room today. So I am a little bit preaching to the choir. But in reality, I think it can be more than 20%. I think on the internet, real estate carries a lot of risk and a lot of fear with it. The internet, I just don't believe does. I mean, what's the biggest mistake? You send the email to somebody wrong? You know what I mean? There's not a lot of mistakes that you can make. So I want to figure out exactly how to motivate people or help motivate people. And, you know, if you have ideas around the weekend, give me a yell. But a few of the things I've learned about myself, you know the old phrase, you teach what you need to learn, right? This is the same thing. I mean, I'm trying to figure out the way to motivate you all. I can tell you right now, and I don't like to do this, I'm not a pessimist, and I'm not one of those guys that are, you know, up here to denigrate anybody. But the fact is, 50% minimum of this room is going to do nothing. Nothing. And it makes me crazy. I mean, they're going to listen. And I find myself in that same boat all the time with new information. I'm always taking the new information, always wanting to learn something new and not implementing it, okay? And I have to figure out a way to focus so that I can implement it. That's what I want to... That's what I want the theme of this to be, so that you can, you know, again, I can scare you a little bit. The self-motivation thing makes me crazy. I mean, I don't consider one person one time, I think it's probably a lot of people called me indolent. Does anybody know this word? Indolent. You know what I mean? Lazy. It's like, I am lazy, essentially, I think. I don't think that we were meant to go all the time. I think that we were meant, you know, to relax more. I don't think this society is, you know, I think we're getting out of our comfort zone. If you've watched any positive motivation stuff, you're getting out of your comfort zone all the time. It actually is against your nature, okay? But this is the only way to grow. It's the only way to become more. And the knowledge stuff means nothing. I figured it out, you know, knowing something doesn't mean anything, okay? Knowing what to do doesn't mean anything. It's not worth anything, okay? You're basically becoming an information junkie, okay? I love this quote right here. To know and not do is to still not know. You're going to leave this place so packed with information, what I think is some of the most valuable information that you should be learning today. But if you don't execute the thing, if you don't do anything, then nothing's going to happen. So here's Mr. Surf again. In our lifetime, the internet will be like an embryo surrounding the earth that we will have to plug into to survive. Okay? Think about it. The people in this room, Dan, myself, Chris Daigle, Bob Burns, I'm sure, the people here that run our businesses, hell, our lives on the internet understand this already. You know what I mean? That without a broadband connection, we go into withdrawals rapidly. I mean, it's like there's literally employees to be got back to, things to be done. This is, and everyone. I don't care if you're doing dating or networking with your family or whatever. It's going to grow into your health records and absolutely everything else. So, where do you? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We just passed 1 billion. No, actually, this is wrong. I read this last night. It's 2 billion in 2007. 2 billion people online. In 2011, we will pass the 3rd billionth person online. It becomes an ecosystem, a marketplace, a frictionless marketplace in the nation that never in the world history that we've ever been able to see. You'll be able to sell, you know, the translation into Mandarin will be just like that. You can just change the whole thing, and now you have the entire Chinese population to sell to if you want to, okay? That's how fast it can happen, all right? And by 2011, you will be able to carry every song, every movie, every television show ever created by man on your handheld device. All right? Think about it. Just think about that for a second. I mean, not that you ever want to, but think about that. Where we are right now, I wanted to show you, if we leave here, if you leave this little part of the presentation and this event the next 3 days, and you understand this, then I will have done my job in my short 30 minutes with you, okay? I want to point out to you, I want to show you where we are right now, where you fit in, and where we're going, okay? If I can do that, then I will have been, I will have been successful. I will have given the knowledge. We may all walk out of here not knowing exactly how to motivate each other or ourselves, but we will have the knowledge, and hopefully we'll have the tools to motivate each other. I believe it has something to do with masterminding. I believe it has something to do with getting together with like people. But whether or not that's I think that every time there's a mastermind group, actually, Graham Treacle, Daigle, Larry Goins, Mike Kane, the founder of Foreclosure Daily. There was 5 people 5 years ago that I got in a mastermind. I credit that for my success. Nothing that I ever learned. It was those 5 people or 6 people that were moving forward into the future, selling info products on the web, and we could talk to one another. That was all it was. We were all learning the same stuff, but that was what it was. It was that mastermind group, and that's the group you're in. That's why the networking here is more as important, and the relationships that you build is as important or more important than the stuff you learn on the screen or from the speakers. Here it is. I need to scare you guys. I need for you guys to be afraid of loss. You ever heard these? Everyone know about anything about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming? People move towards stuff, or they move away from stuff. Move away from pain or fear, or they move towards pleasure. Okay? I happen to move away from pain or fear, pleasure, or not towards pleasure. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. Okay? And I need to figure out how to get, if you move away from, because I move away from stuff. I need to be afraid. This is the story I told myself about 8 or 10 years ago. I was wholesale, I was doing okay. My kids are geniuses, okay? They're at Notre Dame right now. And I was not making a real good living. I mean, I was flipping some stuff. I had to make this picture in my mind. I had to say to myself, Mike, these boys get into a school like Notre Dame, and you can't pay the bill, okay? That was the fear scenario I had to put in my mind and move away from that scenario in order for, I think, for the last 7, 8 years to have the success that I've had. So if there is something like that, that this event or this presentation gives you, then I've been successful. The domain story is, back in like 98, 99, not even then, but like 2000, 2001, I found an underground guy, like we are, like info product delivery guys, and he was charging $9,000 to teach you how to buy and sell, buy domains and monetize them. Back then it was called GoTo. Anybody remember GoTo? Became Overture, bought by Yahoo, and he was monetizing them that way. And I knew in my heart it was the right thing to do. I knew it was the right thing to do to pay that money. I didn't have that money. It was like, I knew I had to do that, okay? But I didn't do it, all right? And today, I have 400 or 500 domains and, a pretty substantial portfolio, but I didn't start it until like 2004 or 5. And, everything that's worth anything was bought in 2003 and 4 on the aftermarket, okay? So you need to figure out whatever is going to scare you, There's so many things that stand. The list building is important, but I'm going to show you some other stuff that's more important, okay? Plug and play, all right? Anybody know what this means or what I mean by this? Give me Mr. Daigle. Dr. Daigle, let me get a drink of water. Tell him what I mean by that. Exactly correct. What he said was, I'll repeat it for the microphone. as what I said earlier. Everything's already out there. You don't have to learn anything at all, okay? You need to outsource it. You need to find people that can do it and let them do it, all right? It's not expensive in the long run. Because if you, I think it's the next slide. Oh, it's right there. Don't learn anything technical, guys. Look, if you already know how to do it, okay, that's good. And it's better a little bit that you can explain it to folks more. But forget about, this is the beginning of your business model development, okay? Forget about learning how to do whatever. I don't know how to do anything. Nothing. I couldn't. Ask Jim, look at the smile on Jim's face. I mean, I can't do anything but read my email. I'm not kidding you here. I'm serious. You know, Dan, these guys called me to do a telecom or a webinar thing. I gotta have guys around my desk. I can't do any. I can't even hook it up. You know what I mean? You don't need to know. You know, we got 30, 20, and I did this before too. When I started, I did not do any of this stuff. I outsourced it all. Okay, and so you don't. And if you start to learn it, okay, great. You're going to be a commodity. Okay, you're going to be like somebody that can code, or somebody can do this, somebody that can do that. You don't need to learn any of this stuff, okay? I don't want to make it simple like this is one of those get-rich-quick schemes that's easy and all this stuff. You got to learn the marketing. You got to learn the business model development. You got to learn the idea vetting, the relationships, that kind of stuff. These are important things that you get paid to do, okay? You're just the puppeteer, okay? You're the person pulling the strings. You're the person doing the deal, okay? It's like having your handyman or whatever. Well, I'll tell you a story. It's, you know, I did a lot of wholesale deals in Tampa, right? And people were always calling me. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. This is a true story. I got tickets to the Super Bowl. I always had standing. I could go to any, like 2 or 3 condos on the beach in Clearwater or St. Pete. You know, there were some off-color kind of offers. I always Bucks tickets, Rays tickets. Yankees tickets, always box seats. I could go anywhere. If they could get to be the first, if those buyers could be the first guy on my list that I call when I get a deal, right? Well, you know what happened at the end? At the end, they were calling me for handymen, okay? Because no one can find a handyman, all right? It's like Dan, he's got this team in Serbia. When you get that person, that all-around web person, it's like your handyman. Never let them go, okay? Hold them on, you know, guard them, pay them more, okay? Grow them as a part of your team. It's part of your team, and the handymen are really part of the team. Okay? I mean, the web guys are part of the team. All right, this part is where we kind of go back. You know, we're getting the information, we're getting the business model development, you're getting an overview of what to look for in this thing. I want to know if there's anybody courageous in this room to answer this question, all right? Here's the question. I asked this of potential girlfriends, but anyway. I asked this question of a lot of people that I meet. And here's the question. You win the lottery. $10 million. Not like screw everybody much, screw you, but it's pretty good. $10 million, it's in the bank, all right? Now, what do you do for free every day? Okay, first, let's take it out 12 months. You've already traveled around the world. You've already supported, you've paid for your family. Everybody's secure. You're sitting in your little house or your mansion or whatever. Now, what do you do every day? What would you do for free? Is it missionary work? Is it work with children? Is it work with something else? Tell me, is anybody courageous enough to tell me what it is? Yes?
Wildlife rehab.
Wildlife rehab. Anyone else? Teach. What would you teach?
Probably something that I do. And have a passion for real estate.
Okay. Go ahead. What is it? In poverty housing, Habitat for Humanity, yes. Make independent films, good one. Anyone else? One of my boys is studying film at Notre Dame. You know I'm a liberal parent. Anyone else? And I allow that because I want him to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Anyone else? Go ahead.
Help wounded veterans.
Help wounded veterans. Anyone else?
I'm starting the Colorado Margarita Society, which, believe it or not, is a children's charity based after a very successful charity in Dallas.
Cool. Children's charity. Anyone else? Nick.
Travel around the country and do platform sales.
Look, I would answer that question very similar. I would start web companies, basically, buy and sell them, you know. And my real passion is health and wellness. So, and I tell people, I think it's the next slide, no, it's the slide after that. But my real passion is health and wellness. I'm really 88. I got like 3 jokes at work. And I want to get out to a larger audience. Okay, I'm going to start up. I just paid $1,100 for sugarfreekids.com. You know, part of my kids' success was that they never had flour, sugar, or caffeine growing up. I believe, personally, I mean, I kind of watched it like a human. They were guinea pigs, so kind of a human experiment. I really think their brain. I mean, I'm a smart guy, but I ain't rocket scientist smart like they are. So, I tell people, that's the next slide, but there's another part of this equation. And does anybody know this book? Does anybody happen to have this book? Strengths Finder? Okay, we got 2 or 3 people in the room. Okay, Mr. Daigle, I figured that as much. Okay, Strengths Finder was created by the Gallup organization, or came out of the Gallup poll organization. Everybody familiar with this company? The Gallup organization, they surveyed 1 million business people, okay? 1 million business people. And they wrote a book about strengths, 34 strengths, all right? And here's just distilled down to its essence, all right? Everybody in America is worried about your failings, what you don't do well. If a girl or a guy comes home with a bad report card, not a good report card, 3 A's and a C, what do you think the parents focus on?
C.
C. What do you think they should focus on?
3 A's.
The A's. You will never, this is the concept of the book, you will never be anything but you should write this down, you will never, as it changed my life 3 or 4 years ago, you will never be more than marginally good at your weaknesses, but you can or could be world class at your strengths. All right? Hire everything you're not good at out and do what your strengths are. All right? Now there's 34 of them in here. It's really simple. All you do is buy the book for less than $19. I think it was 21 or something. Whatever. It's about 20 bucks.
It's $11.50 on Amazon.
$11.50 on Amazon. There you go. And you go to the back. And you rip this little thing out, and then you go to strengthsfinder.com, and it takes 35 minutes, all right? Don't game the system for a boss. Don't game it for your wife. Do it for you. Answer it honestly, and the way you do it, the results will amaze you, okay? And I think it's so important that whatever your strengths are, and you know, if you're willing to do it, you know, I'd like to see them the next day. Matter of fact, who has the strongest desire in the room? First hand up, Mr. Burns. Yeah. All right, I'm going to tell you mine. Don't laugh, please. And you might have known this by now. Ideation. Input, which is collecting things like books, got thousands of books, quotes, information. Strategic, futuristic, and learner, okay? Basically, I'm not qualified to do anything. I'm an absent-minded professor, okay? So I have to have people to help me. It's mandatory, okay? The only thing that I can do, I tell people, I've told this other story, a lot of real estate investors. I have a partner, his name is Charlie. And I've been flipping houses when we met, my kids were in strollers, so 18, 19 years ago. And I've been selling him houses up to 2,000. You know, I've done 300 or 400 or 500 houses by then. And but I had some rentals when I was married, but basically I was just flipping. You know what I mean? And but Charlie was keeping. All right. So I made a deal with him. I said, look, I'm just a terrible landlord. I'm not detail oriented. I can't do this kind of stuff. All right. It's not, my brain does not work. And I beat myself up for not being organized and not being able to do that for 20 years. Okay. I crucified myself that I should have been able to do that, or do it better, or do it well, okay? And when I read this book, I started to understand that I have skills that other people just don't have, you know what I mean? I can flat out find a deal. I mean, I can see it. I can see a company. I can see it clear as day. And I thought everyone could do that. You know, everyone can't do that, but there's a lot of things I can't do that I need them for, okay? So Charlie, basically I said, look, I'll find them, you fund them and manage them, and we'll split 50-50. Change my life, change my wealth, change my portfolio, okay? And I found like hundreds of houses that fast. Set up a machine to find houses that we looked at the best. We'd flip 10 and keep one, flip 10 and keep one, okay? And that one we kept was the best of the best, okay? But he took care of all that. He went out and rehabbed and did all that stuff, okay? So please do yourself a favor. Barnes & Noble is straight down Cypress on the right-hand side, about 3 blocks at Dale Mabry. You can't miss it. Grab the book, take the thing. I'll be around this weekend. Please, print it out. I'd love to look at it. I tell people that I'm learning that so that I can use it to further my passions, okay? Again, my passion is health and wellness. I'm going to teach a lot of people about it. Yoga, real holistic kind of stuff. That's who I am. That I got where I did through the web just as been it's been just a progression, okay? I was in the real estate business. I got involved in the web business. I was a businessman. The kids were growing up. I didn't really think about it until I started to think about it, okay? And I want to force you guys to think about it because it's important, okay? Okay, so let's do a quick step-by-step and we'll work our way out of this. Step number 1. Learn how to make money on the net. Okay? Now, how many people have jobs still? Don't be afraid. How many people have businesses that they feel tied to? Okay, same thing. All right. You've had a job. You've had a business. Okay? I am, just for me, and imploring to you that maybe the right thing to do right now, maybe kind of the intuitive thing, me and the domain name thing. I'll tell you, one of the guys who bought like 300,000 domains and started with just his credit cards, now it takes him $20 million a year on just pay-per-click. I missed an opportunity, gang. I've missed a lot of opportunities. I don't want you guys to miss it, okay? So take what you learn here, but apply it only to your passion. Now, not only to your passion. Number 2, simultaneously. I'll write this stuff down. I got a little tick. I say that once in a while. Write this down, only when it's important. I would simultaneously begin to develop and become part of the conversation of your passion on the web. All of this stuff that was mentioned, working with children, independent films, there are communities on the web for all of this stuff, okay? You need now, yesterday, to become involved in those communities, all right? You literally can, I can show you how to profit, or how it can be profitable for you, even if it is nonprofit, okay? I can show you how to make money or begin the process of earning money doing what you love, all right? And at the very least, if you get good with the web, you get good on the web, you know, this can be your philanthropy. But I'm almost positive you can't even tell me a niche, because I've explored this, and a few of my mentors have done this, and they have sites like this. Almost everything can be monetized if you become, oh, there's some of the things, and I'll show you in a second, but you got to get in the blogs, the social networks, the forum. You want to maybe even start selling products that revolve around your passion if you can. It will sustain you, gang. It will allow you. Look, making money won't sustain you, all right? Take my word for it. Real estate, whatever. Making money in and of itself will not sustain you. You won't continue to do the thing, all right? You need to figure out what you love and use the web in money-making ventures, whatever, but be passionate, be moving towards your passion. and become a part of the social fabric of that niche now. And let me tell you why now. Because you need to become a thought leader in that passion, okay? And if the passion is joint ventures, or if the passion is internet marketing, fine. I just listened to an interview by John Reese. John Reese is the first guy to ever sell $1 million online in one day. Actually did it in 18 hours. $1,000 product 1,000 times in 18 hours in 2000, the summer of August 17th, 2004. It was like Roger Bannister in the 4-minute mile. Okay, it was broken. Now it's been done 20 times. All right. But he was the first guy to do it, and he did this self-evaluation. Okay, he makes millions of dollars online. All right. And he decided that what he wanted to do was he wanted to teach internet marketing for the people who had passions, for the people who wanted to get out of poverty, for the people who wanted to help their family or what have you, okay? So that was that's his passion. It's kind of mine too. There's going to be a blend of internet marketing, promotion, health and wellness. It's basically going to teach how these practitioners who can't make a dime doing yoga or doing massage to make some money, have a better life, to teach more people. You understand? It's going to be a blend of the two.